Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel. And first and foremost, happy Pride Month. I just want to say to all of my LGBTQ plus subscribers, I see you, I love you, I support you in every single way. And I'm so excited that it is Pride Month and we get to celebrate all of you. Now, for all of the allies out there, as a matter of fact, for everybody out there, as it is Pride Month, I do just want to say that as you guys are celebrating, make sure that you are specifically celebrating creators of the LGBTQ plus community. You know, they are a huge part of this community. And to be quite frank, a lot of the beauty trends that we started or exist right now, a lot of them come from that community. So make sure that as you are celebrating, you are supporting creators that are a part of the community. And just beware of some of these corporations and these organizations that will throw some rainbows on some products. Make sure that if you are purchasing products, you are specifically taking a look to see, is this just for show? Are the proceeds going to LGBTQ plus organizations? You know, just do your research. All you know is do the same thing when it comes to Black History Month. So we're not gonna get caught in that this month. But yes, happy Pride Month. I'm super excited. And I do just want to quickly shout out a couple of creators that I follow that I absolutely love, that are part of the community. Queer Bones, make sure that you are following them. Absolutely amazing creator and one of my very dear friends. Scars to Stars, aka Danny, or probably the other way around. Also a very amazing creator. Like, her looks, her eyeshadow is just to die for. Like, the most perfect eyeshadow looks. And of course, Steven is now back creating videos. So make sure that you are following him on his platform. He just got back into doing YouTube videos, so go ahead and show them some love. Make sure you follow all three, and if you know of any other creators, leave them down in the comments below so that we can be sure to support. All right, so let me just quickly introduce myself. I feel like I should have done that at the beginning, but it's okay. Hi, welcome if this is your first time joining me. I'm Jamila and I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup. I love all things skincare. And I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I would absolutely love if you would consider subscribing and joining the fam. Okay, so in full transparency, I was planning to do a completely different video, and while I was filling in my eyebrows, I changed my mind. So we are going to do a video that I have no idea what the title is because I just decided I wanted to talk about this issue like 2.5 seconds ago. So that's what we're going to do, and it's going to be a chatty get ready with me. So I'm going to be playing in a couple of makeup products. Y'all know the drill. Everything will be linked down below, but for the most part, I won't really be talking about the products that I'm using because it's all about the look, right? Well, it's all about the conversation. One thing that I do want to say is that I will be using the Notoriously Morbid We Don't Always palette. It's a weird name. This was limited release, so please don't get mad at me. It was their Friday the 13th release, so very limited. I think it was on sale for like 3 days and then it was gone. That was it. Like, they're like, we're selling it for 3 days exactly. And after that, it doesn't care if we're sold out or not. It's done. So this is the palette. Really beautiful. It's gonna be my first time trying this formula. I know Cara from Beauty and the Frizz loves Notoriously Morbid, so she was partly the inspiration for why I needed to give this a try. So I'm gonna bring you guys in a little bit closer and we'll get started. So like I said, I really thought about this like just now, so there's really no scripting to this. So this might be a little bit rambly. I'm gonna apologize from now, but it is what it is. I decided I wanted to talk about this today, so let's talk. You know, y'all know how it is. So the topic that I want to talk about today is sort of makeup pricing, or the cost of makeup, if you will. I don't know. We'll see where this title goes. But I wanted to talk about the price of makeup because I feel like since COVID, a lot has shifted just in the world general. You know, prices of things have increased, they've decreased, and everything has kind of gone through this entire process over the last 2 years. And I wanted to talk about this. Like, I had this idea a couple of weeks back and then I forgot about it, and then it came up again because at a point we really started seeing brands raising their prices. And the first brand I think I remember increasing its price was e.l.f. And they did a post that was basically like, listen, COVID did a number on us. We are going to be raising all prices by $1. And I was like, okay, thank you for letting us know. And at the same time, while brands was increasing their prices, I think we saw a couple of brands actually start closing their doors because they were affected by COVID. Makeup Geek, I think Becca. So I know COVID has had an effect on brands. And I think most recently what I saw was that Pat McGrath has increased her prices. Now, she didn't make a big announcement. Just one day we all looked on Sephora's website and suddenly her motherships was $128. Now, if you didn't know, the original price of a Pat McGrath mothership was $125. So it's a $3 increase, which in the grand scheme of things is not huge. Or in my opinion, I shouldn't say it's not huge, but in my opinion, it's not huge in the grand scheme of things. But it's also like, why, Patricia? Like, I understand some brands raising their prices like e.l.f. because they have always had really, really low affordable prices. But Patricia, you can't tell me that COVID affected you because we have been purchasing your palettes, okay? You have a community, you have a group of followers who buy everything you release. And granted, her releases have not been selling out as of late, but I couldn't, in my mind, wrap around why Patricia needed to increase her prices. So I was like, okay, whatever, fine. And the funny thing about it is that while some brands have been increasing their prices, other brands have been decreasing their prices. For example, About Face Beauty, they've decreased their prices by 40%. I just saw that, what's that brand called? Lime Crime has noted that they will be decreasing their prices as well. So my mind has gone into, how is it that some brands are increasing their prices because COVID, while others are decreasing their prices because COVID? Like, make it make sense, because some brands are saying that, you know, everything has gotten more expensive, the supply chain has been affected, so we need to increase our prices to account for that. While other brands are out here saying that, you know, we know things have gotten expensive, so we want to help you, our consumers, out by decreasing our prices. Questionable, right? And I think there is a very clear difference between the brands that have increased and decreased their prices. For example, Lime Crime is not doing well, at least to my knowledge. And they are not at the level of Miss Patricia or even e.l.f. in terms of performance. Like, when was the last time you heard anybody say, ooh, I want to buy that Lime Crime palette? Exactly. So I think it's become very evident that the brands that are suffering are the ones that are lowering their prices. And I believe that it's a way for them to entice consumers to purchase their products because they're now cheaper. You know, if you're like me in any way, you see a sale or you see a price decrease and you immediately perk up and you're like, ooh, I want to try it. And Lime Crime has notoriously been a very high-end brand, you know, sold at Sephora, sold at Ulta. So it's been one of those more expensive brands that for some people it probably was inaccessible, and this price decrease will now make it accessible. These are so pigmented. Oh my gosh. I don't know where I'm going with this look, but I like it. And it's going to be something extra, which is not what I wanted to do today, Lord Father. How did we get here? So, you know, as I was, you know, looking at the changes in the makeup industry, it really got me thinking about us as consumers and, you know, how much we actually pay for makeup. And I really started feeling like, wait, we're being played. We are really, really being played. Because the truth is, I fully believe that brands are overcharging us for the products that they're supplying us. I don't think that we are paying an appropriate or fair price for the products that we are being given. Granted, I think we have to take into like the cost of packaging and all of that other stuff. But the mere fact that brands are able to have sales constantly as well as decrease their prices, I don't think that the actual price that products are being listed for are the true prices, if that makes sense. So all of this really got me thinking, and I really want to hear from you guys what your thoughts are when it comes to this issue. Because all of this got me really thinking, you know, what is fair? What is fair within the makeup industry? And at what point will we draw the line? You know, Pat raised her prices and no one made a big stink about it. Like I said, it was only really $3, so I understand folks not, you know, rushing to attack her for that price increase. And I do think that in some ways, COVID must have had an impact across all industries. But at what point do we draw the line? Because the other thing that I have noticed is that it's not just these high-end and luxury brands. Now, when I started off in makeup, I couldn't start off in drugstore makeup because if you are a person of color, you know that we were not represented there. So when I started buying makeup, it was like MAC Cosmetics because that was the inclusive brand that had shades for me. But now, have you walked down the drugstore aisle of a Walmart or a CVS and looked at those prices? Because those prices are no longer less than $10, a couple of dollars. Those prices are giving you $17, $18, $20, $20+ And it has me wondering about everything going up so much, and whether or not that could be something that has a detrimental impact on the makeup industry. So, as you all know, the world is kind of opening back up, right? You know, COVID is still here, it ain't gone nowhere. But the world is opening back up, which means that people are going outside, people are doing all of these other things. And last I checked, gas was like $5. I went to the grocery store the other day and paid, I think like $3, $4 for some eggs. So everything is increasing in prices. Which to me means that once these necessities increase, everything else is going to fall to the back burner. So is it a good strategy for these brands to be also increasing their prices? Because at some point you have to choose, right? Do I fill my car with gas, or do I buy Patricia's new palette? Do I buy milk and eggs for my kids, or do I buy Natasha's new blush or whatever it is that's on the market? And I feel like these brands could potentially be working themselves into a very, very bad situation with price increases, depending on how large those increases are. And I also wonder if price decreases also may not be the wave, because when About Face did that announcement that they were going to decrease their prices, I had never purchased from the brand. I did go and look at the page and I was like, okay, that's cute, but I still didn't buy anything. Same with Lime Crime. I haven't been purchasing from Lime Crime. I don't shop the brand. And when I saw that they decreased their prices, I don't think I was motivated to shop the brand anymore. I was just like, okay, cool, not for me. I'm not interested in your products. This doesn't change the price of this doesn't change my motivation to buy or not buy from the brand at all. So I am getting a lot of fallout from this palette. Like, the mattes are super duper pigmented, but this fallout is doing a lot. Okay, cool. All right, let's move into some shimmers. Actually, I'm gonna swatch a couple of these. Okay, they're definitely on the dry end as far as shimmers go. Okay, so this first one is a multi-chrome. I don't know if you can see. That is really pretty. Okay, I was gonna use multiple shades, but I'm just gonna go into that multi-chrome shade and put that all over the lid. Actually, I might use these too. So I'm gonna pick up some of that on my finger because these definitely feel like they have a much drier texture to it. So I don't think it would work really well with a brush. And quite frankly, I would recommend laying down some glitter glue or something on this. Actually, I'm just playing around at this point. I'm gonna take some of that blue. Ooh, that's pretty. I'm just gonna put that into the center. This is not my best look, I will admit that, but I just wanted to play with these shadows. And then lastly, I'm gonna go into the multi-chrome, like I said, and put that into this inner pot here. My face is covered in shadow, as you can probably tell. The fallout is real. This is an interesting formula. It is definitely very dry. Not in a bad way though, just kind of, it is what it is. But you're gonna want to glitter glue or something with this. Okay, so I'm gonna prime my face and then we will get on with this chatty get ready with me. I don't even know where I left off. I think what I was saying is that, you know, basically as the prices of things increase, you know, I think we will see people letting go of all of these makeup purchases. I know that I personally have been like, you know what? I don't need this. I kind of don't want this. This is a bit much. I want to go out. I want to do things. I don't want to be spending all of my money on makeup. Now, in addition to brands sort of increasing the prices of existing products, I think the other thing too that we are seeing, brands releasing new prices at higher than expected prices or higher than expected brackets. And that has been somewhat confusing to me as well. I think I first started thinking that when I saw Sigma release their new blushes and they were, I think, like $38. And I was like, I know Pat McGrath's blushes retail for like $35. So who is Sigma to be out here charging $38 for a blush? Like, that didn't make a ton of sense to me. And I've really started seeing these sort of blurred lines between where the categories fall. Now, I don't think that there are actual lines when it comes to makeup for the most part, but I feel like back in the day, I'm saying back in the day, but like, I feel like there used to be these sort of very clear-cut understandings of like, this is drugstore, this is high-end, this is luxury. And now I feel like we're seeing a lot of brands really blur those lines. A lot of drugstore brands are charging, in my opinion, high-end prices for some of their products. There are some high-end brands that are getting into that luxury space. Like, I would never consider Sigma a luxury brand, but their blushes are more expensive than Pat's. So, like, confusion, if that makes sense. Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like, what are we going to continue to see when it comes to the beauty industry and the makeup industry? Like, we see these brands closing left, right, and center for a plethora of reasons, COVID being one of them. And then we have brands increasing their prices, decreasing their prices, and there just seems to be no rhyme or reason when it comes to how this works. Now, I'm not telling people what to charge. I definitely am not saying that this is, you know, what brands should be doing, but I am saying that as a consumer, it is very confusing to me when I'm shopping in, you know, the makeup community or in this makeup space, when I feel like I can't, you know, very clearly articulate where things are supposed to fall anymore. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, but Haus Labs has finally shown what the rebranding or the relaunch will look like, and they have showed what some of the products will be. So there are going to be some bronzers, there are going to be some blushes, some highlighters, there are going to be some, I think the eyeliners are coming back, but the highlighters are $40. Why? Like, is that normal? Is that fair? Like, are we charging $40 for highlighters now? A highlighter. Come on. And you would think that as the makeup community becomes so saturated and people have so much more choice and so much freedom when it comes to where they can purchase their products, that you would see that this increase in competition results in a decrease in prices. And I feel like we're not necessarily seeing that anymore. And I'm not sure why. It is a little bit confusing to me as to why we're not seeing cheaper products. However, we are seeing a lot more sales. So that does make me wonder whether brands are charging these ridiculous prices so that when things do go on sale, they can say, ooh, 30, 40, 50% off. So they can actually make the money that they wanted to make in the first place. So I don't know if it's a marketing ploy to have something be super duper expensive so that when it goes on sale, you can kind of trick people into buying it. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me, because the other thing too is that we're seeing brands release these products and then put them on sale less than a month later. And that doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, if something has just been released, how is it already on sale? You could have charged that sale price from the beginning, right? Okay, so I'm also going to be trying this bronzer from Morphe that I found at TJ Maxx. And I am regretting buying it already because it definitely feels red. Like, I'm looking at this now and I'm like, why did I think that that was a good idea? It has these gold flecks in there, so I thought it would be nice for like a bronze shimmer look. But I can tell it's gonna be too dark. Okay, if I go light, I can make it work. Shit. Okay. At least we know it blends out. But it's definitely too red. I think I'm gonna just give this to my sister. Why did I buy this? Why? I'm so sorry. I look like a clone. So I'm also gonna be trying this blush from Clinique. It's Cola Pop. I picked this up at the CCO. I think it was like $5. So let's see how this works. Well, that's pretty. It's a little red. Jesus, what am I doing to my face? It will come together, y'all, I promise. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my face, and then I'm gonna come back and show you all the final look and give you all my final thoughts on this makeup pricing issue. Okay, I'm back, and things clearly took a turn. Let me bring you guys in a little bit closer so you can see the final look. Okay, so I know you guys are wondering, but on the lips, I'm actually wearing my Haus Labs liner in the shade Neat. And then I went in with my Fenty Mademoiselle lipstick. This is in the shade Turks and Caicos. It's this really pretty, like, green, blue, teal, well, I guess teal, turquoise, one of those shade. And then I threw on my Pat McGrath lip gloss on top of it, which has a little bit of a purple tint to it. What is the shade called? Let me show you guys. So it's the shade Flash Dance, and I topped that over the lip. All right, so let me just wrap up my thoughts about this beauty industry pricing, whatever it is I'm gonna end up calling this video, and then I'm gonna let you guys know how I feel about some of the new products that I tried. So just basically, what I'm trying to say is that I am just, you know, very confused with how the price changes are happening within the beauty community. I feel like we're at this point where, one, it's oversaturated. So we're seeing a lot of brands pop up, and we're seeing a lot of changes when it comes to luxury brands increasing their prices, drugstore brands increasing their prices, some high-end brands decreasing their prices. And it is very confusing, and it does make me wonder, like, where do we fall into all of this? Do we have a say? Can we have an impact in how these brands price these products? And at what point do we say, okay, you guys are trying it, enough is enough, this is way too expensive, this is absolutely insane what you're trying to charge for these products? Because I do think that as inflation is happening with all of these other products, you know, gas, groceries, everything else, it's going to come to a point where people have to choose between things like makeup and the actual necessities. And going back to what I was saying, as the world is opening up and people have other things to do, going out to the movies, going out for brunches, dates, traveling, all of that stuff, I think we are probably going to see a lot of people kind of shy away from purchasing makeup. At least me personally, I know that I lately have been like meh about a lot of releases, because I'm like, I just want to go have a mimosa. I want to get on somebody plane, you know? So I don't know. It's just very curious to me that we are seeing kind of both sides of the coin, where we're seeing some brands increase their prices and we're seeing some brands decrease their prices. So it really does make me wonder, like, these brands are just throwing things to the wall, hoping it sticks and waiting for us to buy it. And if we don't buy it, then they'll put it on sale and we'll buy it then. So kind of irritating, if I'm being honest. But, you know, here on this channel, we just like to talk. Personally, I just like to talk about what's happening in the beauty industry and beauty community, and just share kind of like my feelings and my thoughts on all of this. I will continue to monitor and see what else happening with some other brands. Like I flagged, Pat McGrath increased prices, Lime Crime decreased it, Haus Labs has some really ridiculous highlighters at this point that's just about to launch. About Face decreased their prices, Elf has increased their prices. So I I'm kind of keeping score in my mind to see who else is next. Like, what's next? Okay, so now that I've shared my thoughts about that, I do want to quickly tell you guys how I'm feeling about some of the new products that I tried. So first and foremost, let's talk about the Notoriously Morbid palette. This is a really cute palette. Like, honestly, the color story is interesting in some ways. And I don't know if I would have picked this up had I not just been interested in trying the formula. And this was like $25. So very, very affordable. Mattes, super duper pigmented, really, really rich, very, very powdery. I experienced a ton of fallout with these mattes as well as with the shimmers, which are very dry. I would 100% recommend, one, either wetting your brush, or two, having a very, very tacky eyeshadow primer. Like, don't set your lids. Have a very tacky base for these to stick to. I'm actually quite worried that these might just fall off of my eyes throughout the day, but we will have to see. And yeah, I do think that it's a beautiful formula. It's a unique formula. I think that I don't have any shadows that are this dry, so it was like, huh, this is new, this is different. It definitely felt very different from a lot of other products that I've tried. So we'll see how this goes, but it's definitely not one of those palettes that you want to do your face first, because you're gonna get a lot of fallout from both the mattes and the shimmers. But I see why Cara loves this so much. I get it. I also did try this Morphe Bronzer. I do have this in the Glamour Bronze, which is my shade. I don't know why I thought this was my shade. So this is much darker. It does have some gold flecks in there. I don't know what I was thinking. Really don't know. It's too dark for me. I'm gonna give it to my sister. Just, if you are my complexion, hard pass. But I found it at TJ Maxx for like $7. And what is wrong with me? This Clinique Cheek Pop Blush. It is super duper cute. I love that it has the flower embossing. I did really enjoy the pigment that I got out of it. Honestly, I don't know if I would have picked this shade for this look now that I'm looking back on it, so maybe not. But the formula in this is absolutely fabulous. Really pigmented, builds really nicely, so I definitely like this. I would recommend picking this up at your CCO because I do think that this is kind of expensive for what it is. I believe it's $30-something, and you can get it for way cheaper at your CCO. I paid $5 for this because it was in the clearance aisle, so $5 more than worth it. But I don't know if I would even pay half price for that. You know what I mean? Is that all that I tried? Yeah, that's pretty much all of the new products that I tried. I do want to talk about my highlighter though, just really quickly, because I've been really into this one lately. So this is the Sun Stalker Duo. Wait, no, not it at all. Freestyle Highlighter Duo from Fenty. It has the shades Sandcastle and Mint Mojito. So this is Sandcastle, this is Mint Mojito. I love these for when I'm wearing more cool toned looks because these are definitely more cool toned highlighters. And what I love about it is that I was going for this kind of alien-esque icy look, obviously with the lips too. So I actually went in with Sandcastle first, and then I put the Mint Mojito on top of it to give it a little bit more of that icy look. Because the eyes are very blue-greenish, the Mint Mojito does have that like green-blue flip to it that I think really, really is very nice with this look. And it does give the little bit of that blinding alien. You see that? Alien glare. And I also put that into my brow bone as well as in my inner corner highlight. So I've been really enjoying this highlighter when I've been into more cool toned looks because I think it pairs really nicely with that. And I know a couple of you have asked, but my earrings are from TJ Maxx, so good old TJ. Anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys liked this one. If you did, please go ahead and hit that like button. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you have been observing some of the changes that I talked about when it comes to prices within the makeup industry. If you haven't already done so and you liked this video, go ahead and subscribe. What are you waiting for? Come on, subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, make sure that you share with a friend in case you think that they will like the content. As always, I love you guys so very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for always supporting, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.